guys, we're back with another episode of Tacoimposters, excuse me. Okay. 2 days ago, 3 days ago? Where is it? Not this camera. This camera? I bought an SD card for, not an SD card, I bought a, what are these called? Memory stick Pro Duo card. Thought it was a regular one, it's an adapter. I was like, okay, fine, I have one of those already. That works decently. Didn't work very well. Because the camera decided, no. I tried recording yesterday, so today is, okay, August 20th, 2020. Okay, no, September 20th, 2020. September 20th, 2020. September 20th, 2020. So I tried recording yesterday on Saturday. Today's a Sunday. Sunday, October 20th, 2020. And I tried. And it just cracked on me in the audio department. Didn't want to, nope, didn't want to work. So I'm like, you suck. So I'm just going to go with this camera from now on, I guess. I don't know, you know. Like that's, it just drives me a little nuts, but hey. But yeah, so that's that, and it's crapping on me, and it's baloney, and it's dumb, and yeah, oh well. I don't like it, but hey, what are you gonna do? Stupid camera, because this camera had a fake SD card in it, and it was working for a while, and then the card decided to crap, because when I put something on it, then deleted, it's just bad, and it didn't work, so now it's pretty much not a no-no, but hey. Might get a real SD card and just use it, but I don't know. I want a real camera. But again, don't have the money for a real camera, so. Yeah, but Patreon exists, so if you want to give me some money to get me a new camera, that'd be nice, but no. Anyway, so yeah, that's that. Yeah, I don't know what to talk about, much to talk about. That camera just craps on me, so, which is dumb, but hey. So, I was telling you about the headphones, where the headphones over here. The headphones, okay. Oops, I'll show you what happened with them and what I connected into here. Disconnected into here. Oh, I'll show you my setup first of all, or some of my setup. Look. So the headphones, right? You got the headphones here. Maybe I can bring the camera closer. Let's see. So I'll put that. Oh. I gotta move stuff though, so you don't see stuff. I got a project that you people cannot see. I'll just do this for now. There you go. So. Okay. Ow. The light is pretty bad. I mean, I can make the light come down. Nah, it's bad. Anyway. Better than just leave it where it was. Okay. So now I have A. So, one of the adapters broke. I bought this one and this one. This one's also just loose and crappy. Like you can tell, like I could move it up and down. It's not supposed to do that, I'm sure. And so I went to like a dollar store and I found the exact adapter I needed at a dollar store. Think about it, a dollar store of all places. I went to like three different music places, and they're just like electronic store and then music places, and they're like, So then I got this from a dollar store. This one from a dollar store. I don't know if you can see it very well. And then I got a long adapter extender, so that if I plug it in, I don't break it, because the other one broke like right at the end. I was like, what? Okay. So yeah. So now it's harder to break, so I put it in. Where's the end of it? Put it in, and I won't break it as easily. No, where's the wrong end? So. So yeah, see, so it's like, so I won't break it as easily like this way in the middle. Now it's easier to break and harder to break. It's hard to explain, because look, that's easier to break now because it's longer, but also harder to break because I'm going to probably do this first. I don't know. Anyway, so that's that. Now they're decent headphones. I mean, they're obviously not meant to listen to like high and stuff. It's oh yeah, and then this is the end for getting Bluetooth. So it's Bluetooth adapter, then I plug it into the Bluetooth adapter, and then I plug this in because it's a USB. So yeah, they're not supposed to be made for like hearing great stuff. It's to be able to get any kind of audio out of it. I just need to hear your voice, playing. So or while I'm flying in whatever way. So which is fine, I guess. I don't know. So, yeah. So there's that. And so, yeah. Give me 3 seconds to get... Wait. Just... Okay, well, I guess I'll pull... Anyway, so yeah, where is this? Look at what we got. Let me see what I got. Let me see what you have. No. Go back. I'm trying to find what I'm gonna do. No. There was, what there was? There was. Yeah, Hyper King. Is it Hyper King? Yeah. They're gonna come out with it. No, sorry, Analog. Is it Analog? Yeah. It's coming out with like a Game Boy. So if you know Analog, it's Analog, right? Yes. No. Yes. Wait. Is it? Yes, it's Analog. Yeah, Analog Pocket. So yeah, the Analog Pocket. So anyway, so if you know Analog, they do like Analog NTs and like the Super Nintendos and the Nintendo 64, like minis and stuff. And they do like, or not minis, sorry, like modern, like HD versions. Right? And so they do that. And so now they're coming out with like a pocket. So at launch, they're gonna have, which already came out like friggin' 2 months ago, but they had Game Boy like a Color and Game Boy Advance games. Like, that's the first thing you can get. And then they had like adapters for things like right. Right? And so now they're doing like adapters for Game Gear, I think, Neo Geo Pocket
Christian pickup.
Neo Geo Pocket Color and Atari Lynx. Hey, I don't know. It seems like a great idea. Just I don't want it for like, I think it's like 120 or something, 120 somewhere around there. It's like it's the kind of prices that I don't care about. Like I've said this before about like conventions or like flea markets or like swap meets or garage sales or thrift stores where it's like okay, right? It's not the absolute worst, but it's a price you don't want to pay. Like I don't want to pay that. It's a fine price. I just don't personally want to pay that. And so that's what this is, where it's like, yeah, it's a fine price. I don't want to pay it. Nope. Which is fine, I guess. I don't know. So for me, whatever. But anyway. Yeah, so it seems like a great idea because so many people would buy it. Like, I would buy it if it was a better price, but hey, it works. Just, I don't want to pay that. That's just it. That's just it. So, hey, those are all the systems where people want FPGA versions of those things because Hyperkin's weird, like, thing you slot your phone into. I might have to bring a picture up for this, but like it's like a thing you slot your phone into, and then you can slot a card in the back of it. It was just a really bad idea because it was Game Boy. I think it was just Game Boy, to be honest. Not even 100% sure, but I think it was just Game Boy. Something like that. It's just, no. It started off as April Fool's joke, and then they were just like, okay, we'll make it. Everyone was just like, why? Now it's a neat idea, but again, it was also like $150 or something around 150 bucks. So like it's like Well then, not that that's like horrible, but for what it did, it was like, really? You're gonna charge that much for what? Like, you know? I don't know. Anyway, that's just my opinion on the matter. I thought it was just kind of cool. It's a cool thing. Don't get me wrong. It's cool. It's just for that price, like, I don't know. Would I pay that price? Something around there. I don't know. So, yeah, I wouldn't necessarily buy it. It's a great idea, though. I would, yeah. No, cause see, you know what I want to see? Okay, they tried this thing called the CD, and then they tried the Is it the Polymega? Don't tell me I just chucked it over there. Did I put it? Oh, no. Is it the Polymega? I think it is the Polymega. There's like, they tried something called the CD. Like, SEEDI, I think it was called. Right? Right? Where that was trying to do all the, what's it called, consoles. All the CD-based consoles, and fine, great. You get Sega CD, Sega Saturn. I think it tried PS1, Dreamcast, but the ones that they didn't have that I wanted were the like early PC games. How do I play all those early PC games? All the early 2000s, like late 90s, early 2000s PC games. Nobody has gotten that right. I don't think anybody will ever get that right. I think they're just gonna like, because you always go with, there's one website, I don't remember what it's called. Oh, Wow ROMs? No. Anyway, where I saw a section for like Windows games. I'm like, is it gonna be what I think it is? And it's like, yeah, it's exactly what I thought it was gonna be. It's DOS games. Like, no, I want the Windows games, the late 90s, early 2000s games that only worked on Windows, and can't really be played properly anywhere, and I don't know. Just to me, that's what I want. And nobody's done that right. And which, I mean, it's not the worst thing, but Polymega. What's the Polymega? Element module provides you with an infinite expandability. Yeah. So it's a Polymega thing that had, where the Polymega was supposed to be this. You buy a base unit. It would almost be as if printers had to have every separate. I was gonna say every separate color, but that's not exactly a good analogy. It's more like. I don't know how to explain it. It's more like, I don't know, but it's a thing where you buy a base unit, and then you can slot in all these other units, so like infinite possibilities, and it's like, no, it's not. It's not. That's the problem. It's just gonna be like every other modular thing. It does all the ones that already exist. Gives you like one thing that like was harder to do or was not as common, and then everything else is just, and then that's it. There's no good like, we're going to give you the things that don't exist yet. I literally want somebody to, like, because I have some of those games too, and it's like incompatibilities, and you gotta get like, what are they called? Virtual machines to run like, which is not the most hardest thing in the world, but to run things like Windows, to run things, like the Windows, and like to run games, like, and it's like, but, like, it's stupid in my opinion, because it's like, but why is it, can't we just get that done already? It's like, but again, but it's not like something like DOSBox, where DOS games are simple to get because it's very like, oh yeah, DOS, every DOS is slightly different, but we could just have like one environment and then configure them all games slightly based on what environment you're needing to like which DOS you're gonna do. But Windows, I feel like people don't want to like sit there and be like, okay, how does this run? How does it? They don't want to. It's the same way people don't want to do a Xbox, like original Xbox emulator. They don't care. They're like, because I was thinking about that and I was like, yeah, they don't want to do that because they don't want to do that because like 3 games anybody wants to play can be played somewhere else. They can play it on Windows or on whatever, like which is Halo. It's the same way. There's no point to having to owning a PS1. There's no point to owning a PS1 at all. Like, there's no point to owning a PS1 because PS1 games can be played like hundreds of different ways everywhere else. You can emulate them. You can play them on your PS2. You can play them on your PS3. You can play them on your PC. You can play them on your phone. You can play them on your, this and the other thing, right? What? You suck. Okay. So, it's not like it's super. It's not just the easiest thing, but it is like there's just dozens of ways to play them. The same way there, it's like the only game everyone always talks about from the Xbox. Now there's different better games. Like there's other games on Xbox. It's just nobody ever talks about the Xbox in a like, oh, I love this random game on Xbox. No. So they just don't care. Like nobody wants to run. It's the same. Yeah. So it's the same way nobody wants to run Windows XP. They don't want to. Windows, like get a Windows like emulator, like, or Windows games running properly. And the same, they don't want the friggin' what's it called? Original Xbox games. Classic game consoles in a tidy package that is easy on the eyes. Each element module set includes a low latency wired controller, region-free module compatibility with its design system, and 5 preloaded games. Whatever, that's whatever. But it sounds like a good idea. Now, it's kind of like what was that thing called? It was called it was a Pioneer Laser Active. It's called a Laser Active. I don't know if it's Pioneer or not, but the laser. I think it was a Pioneer Laser Active. Anyway, and basically that thing had modules too, but right, that thing kind of had it, but it only had like I think it had Sega CD, Sega Genesis, and something else. I don't remember. Anyway, it's just a laser disc player. If you know what a laser disc player is, I've talked about them before. They're just giant. They're basically giant CDs, but they're kind of analog, which is strange. Or they're lasers. No, they're not analog. What am I talking about? But they're optical. Like, I don't know. They're confusing. Go back to one of the podcasts. I don't remember which one to find it. Anyway, but yeah. So just a giant your disc player, and then it just had like modules. I don't know. It seems like a great thing to me if you can get me what I want, because that's like the only thing I want. I like, just give me a good way to play these games. Now, a lot of these games are on things like Steam or Good Old Games or places like that. So, like, really, I could play them other ways. It's just, I want a good emulator to emulate. And some of them can be done on things like DOSBox and ScumVM, but they're never done properly. They're never done, and they never have the one game I want, or they never have like the way to play the one game I want. I'm like, but why can't I play just this one game or that one game or whatever, right? I don't know. Anyway, but that's the other problem with it too. If you have to like tweak every game, there were so many that they don't want to even bother like doing anything with it. Like they don't want to bother like, oh, I have to do this with every game. There are thousands of them. It's crazy. That's the problem. That's why we'll never. I don't think we'll ever truly have every DOS game archived anywhere, because they just made way too many of them, and they're all slightly differently compatible with like. I've never had it properly, but I mean, don't get me wrong, it'd be fine. They have so many on things like Internet Archives and stuff like that. Where it was a few months ago. Actually, it was like a year ago. No, it was like 3 years ago when they started to like slowly bring out like you can play DOS games in your browser. They made like a HTML5 version of like or in browser like way to play DOSBox, and now they've got like so many games you can play in your browser, like almost all the games that they have. Because I was listening to a CEO podcast, right? And so Pat Contry and Ian Ferguson, and so Pat was talking about how like, or they're both talking about how like they did that, and there's a difference between okay, I've archived everything, which should be archived, and now you can just play them everywhere. That's what happened with all those, or a few of those ROM sites. Why Nintendo got after the ROM sites? Because they weren't just distributing the games. Like, one or two of them were, like, in browser. You could play them in your browser. Where it's like, okay, that's where it gets to the, like, I don't know, man. I wouldn't do, like, that's where Nintendo can be like, no. Now you're getting into fully illegal territory here. Like, this is just illegal. There was a website, I don't know if it's still up. I'm going to check if it's still up. Nintendo 8. It was called Nintendo 8, and it was in browser. You could play Nintendo NES games in browser. I'm sure it doesn't exist anymore just for that sole reason that nobody like that you can play them in the browser. Nintendo 8. Play Nintendo 8-bit NES games online. It still exists? You're kidding me right now. How is nobody not going after these people? How is Nintendo not going after these people? Okay, this is crazy. This stuff's crazy. What? Okay. Let me see. What game do I want to play? Let's look at the popular ones. Let's see. Bobble. 2. Let's see if we can actually still play, though. Or it's just going to like crap on me and not work. Because that could happen. It's loading something. I don't know what it's loading. So, I mean, it's doing something. It's loading something up. Maybe it will work? I don't know. Okay. Well, let's see if it actually does load anything. Because I could sit on this gray screen forever, and I can't actually do anything with it, but yeah. It was like, what, 5-7 years ago I used to play, like, actual NES games in my browser because I didn't have all these NES games. I had an NES. I just didn't have all these games and all the money to get these games. And well, I never played them as a kid, so I didn't have this attachment to, I want these games. See? Oh, no, wait, see? So, your computer does not appear to have Java installed. Click here to install the Java runtime. No Java. Let's see if I can get Java. Apparently Java. I need Java. Okay. Can I click this and get Java? Please upgrade to the latest version of Google Chrome, Firefox, Internet Explorer, or Safari. I'm in the frickin' Java. No? Let me see. Okay, that could be nowhere. Try switching to JavaScript version. I need some kind of Java. Anyway, so yeah, I used to play this all the time. How is this not down yet? I don't know. Anyway. So yeah, that was that. Like that's the thing I have. I don't have like 1,000. That's the other thing too. I don't have 1,000 games. I just have like 5 to like 15 games that I just want to be able to play again. Like one of them is just I just want to play. Where is it? Flight Simulator Ultimate or Flight Ultimate. Oh, it's not here anymore. Oh, it's right over here. No. Anyway. So it's like, or I want to play like, I don't know. And some of them are still like usable. Some of them I can still play because some of them I can do like a what's it called? I can, like, they'll still compatible with, like, Windows 10, but it's just like, come on, why is nobody, you know so many people would use it, play it. I'd buy, friggin' damn it, I'd buy a unit like that. Good gosh. I would. I definitely would. Now, maybe not for, like, $150, $200, but I would buy one. Oh, yeah. So, hey. That's what I want. And I usually like the handheld stuff. It's fine. I don't know. Handheld. Like the PSP, right? I think the PSP is a better handheld system as a handheld system because I have mine here, right? I got one way later. I didn't have one as a kid. I never. No, but I always wanted one. But then realized that nobody I knew had one. So I was like, well, what would be the point? I'm glad I never got one because all my friends and all the people in my circle had nuns, but they had DSs. So anyway, I like the PSP because it's a great emulation system, right? Emulation system because it's tactile buttons and it like, not that they're good, like great tactile buttons, but they are tactile buttons. They're physical buttons. They're in my hand. I can feel them. I can see them. But I never have it on me. That's the problem. I will never remember to bring this with me. Right? But I'll always have my phone on me, which is why I think it's a good, like, I'll always use my phone to play, like, emulation. I never play a lot of emulation. I just, like, pull up with something and, like, oh, whatever, blah, 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 yada, yada. It's also just cool to see what you can put on this thing, on the PSP. You can put, like, podcasts, books, movies, videos, music, emulation. You can friggin' have an emulated, what's it called? Mac on there. Like Mac OS emulation on there. It's crazy. It's crazy, so. It's insane, so. It's nuts, so. And I'm always finding, like, oh, you can add another little thing to this, or add another little thing to this, or I can have this system, or that system, or whatever. And the games aren't that horrible. The games that I do own, I only own, like, 5 and 1 movie, are decent. So, the problem with it is there's a lot of this missing an analog stick thing. Oh, you can also play PS1 games. That's cool. Anyway, like, that's the problem with it, which is why the PS Vita is a better system for, like, for emulation if you want, like, the all-in-one package of, like, it's got 2 analog sticks, and it does it, like, decently. Because the problem with this is, it doesn't have it, so you have a lot of games with this being another camera, the you know, square, circle, triangle, X, square, circle, triangle, X, right? Being like, where is it? This does that, and it just drives me nuts, because I'm like, oh my god. Battlefront does it on PSP, and, I don't know if you can see that, Transformers does it on PSP, and it just drives me nuts, because I'm like, oh, couldn't you just, like, and I think to myself, couldn't you just adapt it to where you could do this, left and right, with, like, the triggers, but the triggers do something else, and, like, oh, it's bad. To me, it's bad, because, like, oh, anyway, I mean, but, what were they going to do, though? They didn't have another analog stick. And this is not an analog stick, it's a weird, like, knobby thing. Same as a 3DS. I mean, it's not the worst, but, oh, boy. So, see, I had a DS as a kid. No, I had a Game Boy Advance SP as a kid. I played a few Game Boy games, a few Game Boy Advance games, a few Game Boy Color games. I didn't play a lot, though. And then I got a DS, and I played that thing forever, okay? I've talked about this before. And then I got... And then I knew a few people who had the, PSP, and it was a nice, like, it was a good system in, relation to, like, it looked cool, I liked it, the games were cooler, like, they were just, but when I saw them, though, I've always looked at a lot, well, the games that I did have, this was on DS, too, and I looked at the DS version, and I looked at this version, and it is better, this version, but not by much, like, it's not, like, leaps and bounds better. That's the other thing, too, that I always thought, I was like, but the PSP is not leaps and bounds better. Like, that's the thing. It's not leaps and bounds better than my DS. And my DS can't play Pokemon or Mario or Zelda, so I was like, why? What's the point then? right? Which is why I looked at things like the PS3 or the Xbox 360, and I used to always go, to me, those things weren't leaps and bounds better than the Wii at the time. So I was always like, and it can't play Zelda, Pokemon, Mario, so I'm like, what's the point, right? I don't care. So yeah, but I always wanted one because I was like, oh, but so, like, but I wanted one in that I just wanted all of the things thing, not because I thought that it was better or thought that it was like the greatest system. I kind of knew it was just what, just meh. Well, meh in relation to like the DS that I had, in relation to the games that I played on my DS. I had bad games on DS. Don't get me wrong. Star Wars Battlefront on DS is absolutely disgusting. It's an abomination of a game. It's an atrocious, like, oh my god, it's bad. It's just bad. It's just bad. It's just bad. But then Battlefront on PSP is pretty much Battlefront from PS2. It pretty much is. It's not. It's like that much like lesser of a game, but it's still pretty much the same game. Where the DS and then the Wii were just kind of like, ooh, it's not necessarily the same level of. Because I've talked about this before too. The DS and the Wii had the worst shovelware of any console ever. I think of any console ever. A lot of people compare it to like the PS2 and how the PS2 had a lot. And some people say that the PSP had a lot, but I look at it, and from what I've seen, or what I've looked at, it's not that much in comparison to the Wii and how a third of their library was friggin' shovelware garbage. Oh god, it was bad. And there was always like two versions, and the Wii one was always like that much better, but only like that much better. It was never good. But I liked the convenience of the portability of it. I love the portability. I always thought it was so cool. I got from my library, because my library back in, 2010 maybe? 11? Started to have, like, video games. And I was like, I was like, whoa. Wow, that's cool. And so I got, like, but then I looked at what I think back now and I remember what I used to get from the library, and it would be like, wow, I got, like, crap. I mean, don't get me wrong. I got things like Smash Bros. Brawl. I got Scribblenauts. I got stuff like that were actually decent. Lego Battles is actually not the worst game ever. Anyway, but then there was like all these shovelware things, because I was a kid who just like, I was very much that kid who you say thing that I like, franchise that I like, and you say there's a video game, and I would have just picked it up. I would have bought it. I would have got it. So I got it from the library. Good thing I got it from the library. Not bought all these things, because I would have been so disappointed. And my parents would have been like, no. Because my parents are the kind of parents who were like, do you play those video games? I'm not going to buy you 20 video games a year. But they weren't going to be like, I was going to say, buy 20 video games a year if you don't play them, but like they wouldn't have done that either. But I'm just saying, like, they would have just been like, was that worth it? Oh, anyway. What was I saying? Yeah, so there was just so many. And a lot of them had like double versions. One on the Wii and one on the DS. And one I don't know why it's the only one I can think of right now, but How to Train Your Dragon had a Wii version and had a DS version, and the DS version was just bad. It was just bad. I think Harry Potter number 6, Half-Blood Prince had one, I think, on DS2. I'm not 100% sure. And it was just bad. Not that the Wii one was any better for Harry Potter. Now, the Wii one for How to Train Your Dragon was decent. My brother liked it. It was decent, but... But then there were things like the Lego games, where I never saw like a huge difference in the Lego games, like leaps and bounds better on console than on handheld. Like, there was Indiana Jones, there was Star Wars, and there was one other one. Harry Potter? Probably, I think. And to me, they weren't leaps and bounds better. Not that you couldn't see a difference. Like, oh, this is definitely like better. Like, that was the other thing too. Like, you could tell it was better, but it wasn't like a bajillion percent. Like, oh, it's so much better because friggin' the, I don't know. But, so, that's just my talk on all that stuff. Like, my library had, like, because that's the thing, too. They wanted a lot of games. They didn't care what game they actually got. And the problem, if you got a good game they actually wanted to play, first of all, you only had them for a week. Which was stupid in my opinion. You should have got them for the same amount as a book, but hey, what are you going to do, right? And then, so you had them for a week, and then you had, and then a lot of them were crap, and if there were games you wanted to play, you could never, you had the same thing as like the rental store problems, where you didn't want anybody to delete it, and if they had like 3 copies of it, you didn't know which one you were going to get, so you had to just be like, you had to just like, hope, you get the same one, and like, yeah, so, what's it called? So you just hope that they don't, like, you still have your games, like, you're saved on there, like, There was a big cut here, the camera overheated, which I hate about that camera. Mine overheats now in, like, I used to be able to get, like, an hour and a half out of it. It now cuts out in, like, less, like, 35 minutes now. So it's like, I can't go, like, a long term, but, yeah, anyway. But, yeah. And so, in that time, while I waited for it to cool down, I got a Windows 7 ISO running, Windows 7 virtual machine. Now, I don't know if it's going to work properly, necessarily, but I think it's going to work to a certain extent. I don't know. Like, it looks like it's doing something right. You know what I mean? It's loading Windows 7. I'm at the point of setting up Windows 7, which is cool. Which is, like, a cool thing to see now that I got it. Because I want to play, I have Microsoft Flight Simulator X, right? Microsoft Flight Simulator X, which is Microsoft Flight Simulator 10, right? There's the ISO on, Internet Archive. And I'm like, oh, that's amazing. But it won't run properly on Windows 10. Now, I don't know if it's my computer or what, but Windows 10, it just does not want to run on. It gives me stupid things like, you've got the wrong OS, and I'm like, fine. For certain things, I have to download like 2 or 3 different like things to get it to work properly. Anyway. So I'm going to try it on Windows 7, and if that doesn't work, I'm going to try and get a Windows 98 running, but I don't know, something about Windows 98, used to be able to get that 95, 98, like, really easily, but I'll try an ME, too. I could try ME. Well, actually, Microsoft 10, I don't think would work on ME, but I'll try, what's it called on ME? So, Ultimate, maybe, on ME? I don't know. Maybe it didn't work on there, I don't even know. You know what I mean? Gosh. I just want to open up the page. Anyway. Oh, there it is. Cool. So, yeah. So, it's going to be so cool to get things running again. Because my laptop, that had Windows 7 on it, was just no bueno. Like, not that it was a bad thing, but it was no bueno. And no bueno. Which is fine in theory, at least to, like, it'll just barely run now. But it just runs enough just so I could, like, if I needed to do something on it, I could. Not that I want to do anything on it, but I could. Yeah, so. It's not like you'd actually want to do anything on it, but you could, so. Anyway, because it has, I believe, 4 gigs of RAM. Which really isn't that bad if you're only going to use it for, like, the internet. But if you're going to do anything on it, oh, God. Oh, yeah! See, yay! So I can just move for stuff. Okay, anyway. Yeah, so it's not bad if you're going to use it for nothing, but if you're going to use it for, like, doing anything, you run out of memory, like, I had 8 gigs of memory in this new computer, and it uses 100% of it, like, every day. It's stupid. 100% of that and 100% of the CPU usage is just out every time. Like, I've gotten it down to, like, 80% utilization by doing things like, removing bloatware and stuff like that. All that, like, crap stuff that is useless. Anyway. But, yeah. try and get Windows XP on it because I love Windows XP and I've done it. That'll be the third or fourth time I've gotten Windows XP running on a different computer. It's great. Anyway, so yeah, that's that. So yeah, and when Windows 7 is a little bit more compatible, but again, it's not as compatible as if like I got Windows XP. So Windows XP would be the perfect thing to get because most things would still work. So most software would still work. So, but yeah, see this thing right here. It's like a, I don't know if this is a French one. I have like a French one and a Swedish one somewhere in the like, not Norwegian. What do you call it? Scandinavian country? I don't know which one. But yeah. So I gotta get this painted really nicely. Cause it's painted like not great. But hey. What is this? Oh, it's like dusty. Ew. But it's like dusty in a weird like crusty paint way. Oh, yikes. That's not nice. Oh, it's moving. It is moving. Okay, good. I think it's moving anyway. I don't even know. So, ooh. I don't have a good white. And apparently the whole thing should be white. Because the thing that is bad is the thing about making models and stuff like this is the lighter the color, the more layers you need to do it right. And unless you spray paint it, and even if you spray paint it, you still don't get a lot. Anyway. Yeah, it's moving. Yes. It's moving. It's physically moving. Yes. Okay, good. I'm good with that. So, if I get this done right, we could work. So. Anyway, so yeah. Yeah, so. I like this model. It's a model of like a, I don't know if it's, again, like I don't know if it's French or Scandinavian or something like that. Switzerland, Finnish, I don't know, something like that, I think, maybe. I really don't remember. So, yeah. Anyway, yeah, so I think that'll be it for now, guys. Again, in the links in the description, if you want to get in contact with me, there's the email, Tacoimposters@gmail.com. Questions, concerns, comments, anything you want. Then there's the Discord, and there's the Patreon. You want to see better stuff? Support me on Patreon. You can support me for $1. I don't care. Money's money. It's free. I don't care if you do $1. You'd be doing me a favor. So thank you. But anyway, there's that, and then yeah. So if you want to see better things, do that. So what do you? And then tell me what to do with this 360 camera, with the channel, with the podcast for topics and stuff. What's it called? For games to play for Halloween, and then Christmas, and then games in general, because I always want suggestions for games. And then, yeah, so, what was I saying? Yeah, so, I think that'll be it for now, guys. So, adios, mi amigos.